Here we go again. So welcome back to Day Drinking Part 2. It is the 13th of July, and it is the glorious and horrible year of 2020. Glad you're here, glad you're breathing, I hope you're healthy, hope everyone in your family's healthy. Let's get down to it. Let's talk a little bit about tasting wine and acting like a pro when we do so, or forgetting about what it means to taste like a pro and just having a great time. So my goal here is to give you guys some of my the benefit of my experience and talking a little bit about the best way to visit wineries and tasting rooms. Some of these are going to kind of what I learned in a pre-COVID world. Then we're going to spend a little time talking about how to moderate some of this stuff for COVID, and then talking a little bit about, then you can imagine after we begin opening up again. And as you might or might not know, if you live in California, it looks like all indoor tasting bars, restaurants and breweries are going to be closed due to the COVID. And it looks like right now that wineries are still able to serve wine with food in an outdoor setting, which means it will not impact the J.Wilkes Wines tasting room in downtown Santa Barbara, as far as I know. I have not talked with our tasting room manager, Antonio, or Jerry, our DTC manager. So I have not heard nor seen any type of email or any type of indication that we would be doing anything different than what we were doing the last few weeks, which is expanding our outdoor footprint, making sure, masks, food, wine, careful, washing everything as much as we possibly can, sterilization, and trying to keep it as safe as possible for the people that are coming and visiting Santa Barbara that want to taste some of our delicious wine. So be careful out there, and let's make sure that we can get through this so we can continue going to these wonderful tasting rooms and tasting all the delicious wines of Santa Barbara County, California, and all the other places in the world that grow delicious wines. Remember, over 1 million wines, 3.6 billion bottles per year. And we only drink 3.4 billion bottles per year. So there's a 200 million bottles of wine out there that needs some love. So let's find out how to get to it and how to find them and how to start drinking them. So first thing I always say, when I don't really go to tasting rooms to taste, I go to tasting rooms to buy. Now, here's the issue. Because I'm a winemaker and because I know just about everybody in Santa Barbara County winemaking, I tend to get a very, very good discount. So take this with a grain of salt, because when I go tasting, I try to buy at least a 6-pack to a case everywhere I go. So first of all, that gives me cachet, because I used to buy wine for Steve and Kathy when I worked at Clopepi, and they gave me about a $10,000 to $15,000 a year budget to buy wines from France, Italy, Spain, Greece, Portugal, California, Oregon, Washington, you name it. I mean, we were buying wine just about from all the great places, and as a result, this is the greatest thing, is when people know you're a buyer, you're going to get treated like a whale. The same reason you walk into a casino and the facial recognition goes, boop, that guy spent $1 million here at this casino last year, they're going to treat you different. So if you're a tasty Lou, if you're just going out there trying to look for the places that have cheap tasting so you can get your buzz on, that is the absolute worst way that you can use tasting rooms. I honestly believe that the idea, first of all, really do pay attention to your level of intoxication, because to me, a tasting room is about sampling, it's about learning, it's about education. I think being drunk in a tasting room is about as cool as being drunk in a classroom. If you're over 30, shame on you. You're drunk in public? Really? Dude, didn't you grow up? And if you're under 30, still look like an idiot. Someone's driving, and if it's you, my goodness, you got to really be careful about how you act. First of all, as a winemaker, I watch my reputation. I know people in this business. I know people in Santa Barbara wine that don't know how to moderate their drinking, and everyone makes fun of them behind their back. Whether it's at an event where you do something stupid, or you fall, or you say something stupid, or you're just running your mouth, or you can't control yourself, get over it. This is our business. And as a result, it's sort of like if you're an airline pilot, when you're taking off and landing, you have to take it seriously. And when we're in the wine industry, I want to say, of course it's an intoxicant, but remember, the greatest wine drinking cultures ever in the history of the world, the Athenians, would not put up with drunkenness. If you showed up to a symposia and got drunk, you were not only kicked out of the symposia, everyone in Athens would know you were a jerk, and the very next day everyone would find out you were never invited back to a symposia. So I always like to say, have fun, Don't worry about having a little fun, giggling, laughing. You know, you can be elevated, but just don't be stupid. Be smart and keep it together. Decide early if you're there to taste, learn, or both. I really, you know, if you just want to drink, I just say go to a bar. If you really have no interest in wine, I just skip it. And one reason it's really important to understand this in COVID right now is you have to make appointments. If you do not make appointments, you probably will not end up sitting at J.Wilkes and getting served, because there's a lot of people waiting. There's a lot of people on the waiting list. We do prioritize wine club members, so that's another great thing. We'll talk a little bit about wine club in a second. But in a COVID world, especially if you're going to Santa Barbara, if you're going to Sonoma Coast, Napa, we're all reeling right now trying to figure out within the laws and regulations that we're being given during COVID, what we can and can't do. We want to follow that. We want to keep everyone safe, but we also want to make the people that want to get out of the house, try to keep them safe and excited about these opportunities. So first of all, if you just want to drink, stay at home. If you really, really want to learn, you're coming to a new place, you want to understand it, do your research. My favorite thing is when customers, and this is another great reason to join a wine club, when a wine club member emails me and says, "Hey Wes, it's Jolie. Hey, I'm a wine club member." Well, yeah, of course, Jolie. And I want to know, I'm coming up on Wednesday, the 3rd of August, and I wanted to know if you had any suggestions. I will spend a half an hour for a wine club member it's any given morning making an itinerary. In fact, I have 12 itineraries already in my computer, so I can just choose one for the type of person they are and say, here's 5 restaurants, here's 5 tasting rooms, go. If a wine maker will not suggest other wineries, tasting rooms, restaurants, breweries, distilleries, parks, golf courses, beaches for their wine club members, screw them. Drop the wine club. Come over to J.Wilkes. I'll take care of you. I mean, I'll probably take care of you even if you're not in the wine club, but I'll certainly put a little extra work if you are in, because that's how this business works right now. DTC is king, direct to customer. We've lost 80-90% of our on-premise business right now. So we are really struggling and pivoting to really increase the amount of wine that we're selling direct to customers. So never before have wine clubs been more important to the wineries, which means you can exploit us for all the goodies that you can give. And if you live in an area where there are wine tasting rooms, that gives your wine club membership 10 times more value, because congratulations, you now have a clubhouse. You have a clubhouse where you can go probably sip and sample for free. You can probably bring in your friends at least a few times a year to taste free. You get great discounts. You probably get parties. We'll throw you events with food and entertainment and all that stuff. And honestly, winemakers and wine club managers are doing whatever they can to keep people in the clubs. So it's really important, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. When you go in to taste, you may want to talk to the person at the bar and tell them which local wine clubs you are members of. That is a subtle hint, because most people who work in wine club tasting rooms are actually paid per wine club conversion. So if I get you to join the wine club, I get a $20 bill when I leave that day, or it's added to my check. So it's the way we get tips in tasting rooms, is encouraging wine club members. And if you tell, I would say, the key would be, well, we're in 3 local wine clubs, but we're considering dumping one and looking for another one. Well, boom, those people are going to be on their best behavior, trust me. Choose one area. If you're doing Santa Barbara County, I would do like 3 wine tasting rooms in Los Olivos, 3 in Santa Barbara. You can do like Marjoram, Melville, J.Wilkes, just across the street from each other. The traveling in between the wine tasting rooms is a challenge. So I wouldn't do too much driving and moving around unless you have a driver or you enjoy going through wine club. So I would do maybe one sort of city experience and then maybe one experience out in a vineyard. Remember that wine tasting rooms that are attached to a vineyard and production winery sell 67% more wine than those that don't. Why? Because you are in agriculture. You see the vineyards. You see the winemaking process. There might be people bottling. There might be people in the vineyard. They could be taking nets on and off. You might be able to walk into the vineyard and get a tour. So I'll always say, if you're going to wine country, at least get one appointment at a winery that has an attached vineyard and winery, so you can understand the process of growing grapes and making wine. And look at Yelp ratings and ratings of your friends who've gone to these tastings and really had this tour experience where they get the entire story. If you're driving, spit everything, which is really, really important. You will actually absorb small amounts of wine as you go, so you might end up feeling a very, very tiny little buzz. If for some reason you're moderating your spitting, make sure you have a breathalyzer. And I would never, ever drive over 0.04. That's my rule. I keep a breathalyzer in my car. I'm a human breathalyzer because I've been using a breathalyzer for 20 years. But if I blow a 0.05, I step out, relax, throw a couple frisbees, walk around a little bit until I blow a 0.04, and then I get on my way. The breathalyzer I have is 0.02 variation, so that means I'm between 0.03 and 0.07, so I know I'm legal to drive in basically any state in the United States. Bring a cooler full of goodies. You'll be so stoked you did. So bring crackers, 3 kinds of delicious cheese, charcuterie, a blanket, some wine glasses, maybe a bottle of rosé, or buy a chilled bottle of rosé wherever you go. Have a flash picnic ready. You might not need it. It might wait till the next day because it's in a cooler. It should be just absolutely fine. You might want to bring some La Croix water, some Perrier, or some Evian, or lots of water. Hydration is key. 3 glasses of water for every glass of wine. If you're not drinking at least 2 glasses of water at every tasting room you're going to, you're not hydrating. Hydration is key. Good for the brain, good for the body, good for the soul, good for the next day, so you can wake up, have some pancakes at Ellen's, and go back out and taste a bunch of wonderful, absolutely incredible wines. If you prefer elegant wines, think about coastal. If you like full force wines, think about a little more inland. Santa Barbara County, I would say, is a little bit more on the elegant, restrained, balanced side. Paso Robles makes big, rich, ripe wines. Also consider in summer, it's going to be blazing hot in Paso, and it's going to be probably gorgeous and cool in Santa Barbara. So do consider, do you love heat? If you don't love heat, why are you going to Paso when you could be in Santa Rita Hills or Santa Maria where it's 20 degrees cooler? And perhaps I prefer the wines from a cooler coastal region. Love you Paso too, but I'll still take Santa Barbara County all day. If you have an opportunity to and that your finances allow, do consider joining 1 wine club a day. I don't expect you guys to have 50 wine clubs under your belt unless you can afford it, and then the wine just arrives and your cellar builds. That's all well and good. But do consider, if someone really treats you well, if someone gives you the experience and the wines are such high quality, you love it, do consider supporting that business, because we need your support more than any other time right now. So do consider that, and obviously look for the good deal. Who gives you the best, how many tastings per year, how many people can you bring, how many events do you get, what other perks do you get? All those things need to be kept into consideration. So the last 2 things I'll tell you is who deserves a discount and who doesn't. Who deserves a discount? Winemakers, wine marketers. If you have a business card and you draw your main source of income from a source that is directly attributable to either hotel, restaurant management, or wine, I will comp you. So make sure you have a card, or you have a way of proving who you are. And if you are a wine buyer, if you're in food and beverage, again, restaurant management, hotel management, make sure you might want to reach out to the winemaker or someone at the tasting room early and let them know you're coming. The more heads up we can get, we're going to save you a spot, we're going to give you a reservation, and we're going to take really good care of you. For example, my friend Eric Gregory, who was the club manager at the San Gabriel Country Club. I think he actually went back to San Gabriel, and also LACC, the LA Country Club, was obviously, he came to the tasting room over the weekend. I'm like, dude, whale coming. This guy, has bought my wine for the LA Country Club and done winemaker dinners at LACC and over at San Gabriel. Take good care of this person. So try to let people know when you're coming, who you are, and if you have a business card, that really helps. Who doesn't deserve? Now, if you are a server at a restaurant and you have wines from my region on your list, I would say that would be yes. If you have my wine on your list, absolutely. I go to Finney's next door and let them know, because they're next door and they're going to suggest people to come over to J.Wilkes while they wait for their table at Finney's. I'm like, yes, anyone who works at Finney's. I don't care if you're a busboy, I don't care, if you're a manager, whatever. Come in, we'll take care of you. I want you to know the wine. I want you to love the wine. If you say you are, let's talk a little bit about choosing beggars. So choosing beggars is an internet phrase specifically from, excuse me, just in case that didn't work. Day drinking. Choosing beggars, yeah. A Reddit internet term basically saying people trying to get free stuff. If you say you're an influencer, you're going to probably get a so what. You know, if you say I have a wine blog, I'm going to say so what. I'll tell you where I don't say so what. Someone reaches out to me and says, in 2 weeks, I want to come down and look at your wines, taste your wines, and I want to put them up on my wine blog. Here's my wine blog. Why don't you take a look at it and see what you think? I'm going to go. I'm going to see how many people read it. I'm going to see the quality of the thing. If it seems to be really good and they only have 100 viewers, I might give them a free comp and put it on my expense report. That's what I'll do. But if you just show up and say that you've got, you know, followers on the internet and you want a free tasting and you're gonna get all uppity about it, there's a reason we say no. You haven't planned, and your lack of planning shows me that you're probably not, you know, as important as you think. So if you aren't as important as you would like to be, but you think you've got a great product, reach out early, get people involved. That's the way you do it. So again, just to kind of review, make sure, try to go buying, not tasting. If you just want to drink, go to a bar, stay at home. There's a reason. I mean, it's a little dangerous out there. So if you're going to go out there and risk a little bit to get out into the world, which is good for the soul, but it can be, you know, dangerous for the lungs. So just be careful and make sure that you make a reservation and make sure you look at the places you're going are going to keep you safe. And obviously wear a mask. Obviously be careful. Make sure you go to a place that you know that they're taking care. Go to a place that you trust. Place, believe it or not, maybe even a place that has a larger organization or even a little bit of a corporate structure, because corporate structures are usually, if you're disabled and you try to bring a service dog into a place, you know you want a corporate restaurant because they've been trained. Mom and pop, they might not know anything. So I do say that maybe it'll be a little bit more careful, and they'll probably do a little bit more sanitation, working for a company that's got it dialed in. We're obviously being very, very careful at the J.Wilkes Tasting Room, and we invite you to use all of these techniques against us to get the best value you can, to have as much fun as you can, and to learn everything you can about a tasting room. I believe that is about it. I'm going to, Naomi's on. If you ever wondered who puts all these videos together for our YouTube, and I will suggest one more time, go over and check out our YouTube channels for both J.Wilkes Wines as well as the Miller Family Wine Company. And you can go over there and see every single video pretty much we've ever done. If you didn't see the Ken Brown interview, I'm sure that's going to be coming up as well. So we've got another show on Wednesday, another great time on Wednesday. So we'll see you at 5 o'clock at that point. And then super exciting for Friday, because we're having Jim Clendenin from Au Bon Climat. And if you've ever seen Jim, he makes me look boring. So get ready for some stories and some deep belly chuckles when I push him to tell us some fun stories about the history of Santa Barbara wine from a perspective of hedonism, from the perspective of an amazing scientific winemaking mind. So looking forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And if you want to know what's going on with the show, just kind of watch your Instagram or Facebook feed on Wednesday morning, and I'll tell you exactly what we're doing on the Wednesday show. I hope everyone had a wonderful time learning a little bit about the tasting rooms tonight. And really do appreciate, thank you, Joseph, for showing up. Joseph, we really need to get back together. Chen and I have been sort of talking about when we need to do so, but we miss you and the family. So everyone, Adam on the air. If you don't know Liquid Lunch, basically Adam Montiel is here, and it's interesting to know I listen to his show all the time, and it's nice to know he reciprocates. So that's the Liquid Lunch on Crush Radio, Paso Robles 92.5, Idler's Home. I'll even give a plug to one of your advertisers. So it's a wonderful thing to see all of you guys here. So wonderful to have you all here. We'll split the show up and we'll put it up on YouTube. Go over there, follow us, like us, make us famous, and give us some views, because some of those videos are just too long for people to wait the whole thing. So really do appreciate you guys watching and getting into this new. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please leave them in the comments and I'll check that out. Really do appreciate all of you coming out tonight. And have a great night. Have a great meal. Remember that wine is an investment to keep the people we love at table for an extra hour every day. Why not 2 hours? We got the time. Find someone in your community, find someone in your family, find someone you don't know that might need a little help out there, and see what you can do to help this planet flourish in a very, very difficult time. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you again on Wednesday. And don't forget, Friday at 5 o'clock, Jim Clendenin and Wes Hagen. It'll sort of be kind of like the Jerry Garcia and Carlos Santana playing that 22-minute sort of back and forth solo that I saw in 1987 at French camp all along the Watchtower. I'll tell that story for another time. Have a great night, guys. Have a great dinner. Love each other. Take good care, and let's encourage science and flourishing. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.